Hey you guys, welcome back to Southern Latitudes. I'm Robin. I garden in East Central Florida, and today I want to come to you with something a little different. It's a little bit more on hurricane prep. Some of it will include the garden towards the end, but I felt like it would be wrong to just start with the garden things first. We are looking at anywhere from a Cat 1 to Cat 3 by the time Hurricane Milton makes it from Tampa, Bradenton, Sarasota area all the way to us. The hurricane path actually is projected, at least at this point. It'll wobble, it'll change. And so I'm not focused just on the line or the little cone. It's going to extend, you know, your winds go out way past the hurricane, but the eye of it is projected to go between my neighbor's yard and my yard. And I'm smiling. It's because, you know, I know it'll change. I'm not too stressed out about it, but I just find that kind of interesting that we zoomed in and it's like literally the eye is supposed to go over the dividing line of the properties. So anyhow, with that being said, I wanted to mention a couple things. If you're in a flood zone, first of all, or a storm surge area, please evacuate. If your home's already compromised because of Hurricane Helene, you know, hopefully you can still find a room or a friend to stay with or something like that. I would definitely bug out in that situation. We have a nice concrete block home. It's nice and low with a relatively new metal roof on it. So we are opting to stay here. We usually stay anyhow. We have tried evacuating like 25 years ago and found ourselves stuck on an interstate while a hurricane was approaching, and I swore we would never do that again. Okay, so and pray. It never hurts anything to pray. You can pray with your eyes open while you're working. You can pray, you know, quietly if you can do that. If you're stressed, I find when I'm stressed, I don't pray very well with you know, just sitting and being silent. My brain is too busy. I do suffer a little bit with ADD or ADHD, something like that. So anyhow, water. Let's talk water just so quickly. Everybody knows bottled water, jugs of water. You can freeze your jugs of water to keep your frozen side or your deep freezes, you know, colder longer. We have a Berkey in our house. It's the 2.25, is it liter or quart? I can't remember. It's the 2.25 Berkey, and it's fantastic. I keep bottled water anyhow, just for like when I can and other things. So all those have been filled since Helene, actually. Plus we'll keep that whole canister filled, and we will put the frozen jugs in the deep freeze. Like the big box stores, they sell these jugs. I think Walmart too. We might have got this at Walmart. I don't know. But these are water containers. They hold 7 gallons worth of water, and this has been filled up for like 2 years. So Jack and I were discussing it last night, and we're like, I need fresh water. So I poured it all out. We're gonna put a little bit of bleach in there. You should always have bleach for hurricane, and clean it out and then refill it and have it on the inside. So there's 7 gallons right there, and that way you're not subjected to the rushes that are in the grocery store. Or if you're going to the grocery store and they're out and you have no other option but still want water, this is an excellent way to do it. Plus we have 5,000 gallon pool. You can fill up your tubs. There's all sorts of things you can do. You want plenty of water for like coffee, or you might even just want to make sure you stock up on coffee grounds or whatever, and then and soda, if that's soda's my husband's version of coffee, so do that. Make sure we have plenty of that for him. Charge up your phones. Keep them on charger as the hurricane is approaching and going through, because most likely we will lose power, and so we want them at 100% battery power, and we'll turn them off on and off and contact family, let them know what's going on. But that's one thing you should do. Advice from an experienced 22-year Florida veteran who's been through the 2004 multiple hurricanes in that year, and other hurricanes, tons of hurricanes. Food, let's talk food just real quickly. So we're trying to eat healthy and still drop weight. So I don't want to lose progress by just eating cookies and Oreos. I love Oreos, chips and whatever. We did have some stressed chocolate I bought today. But you know, when you're stressed, you do want a little something. So I have a little bit of chocolate. So I bought actually a lot of lettuce, fresh things, and broccoli, things that can boil, you know. If we have to go to fire pit, we'll talk about fire in a minute. Eggs. So I have chickens, and unwashed eggs don't have to be refrigerated if you lose power. That's fantastic. I just heard of a great story where they were taking all sorts of unwashed chicken eggs from people who normally sell their chicken eggs up there in the Carolinas, and they're bringing them so they can just stay out and they don't have to be refrigerated. That's wonderful. And if you get in a situation where you're down power for a long time, you can, you know, start a fire with all the broken branches and stuff, and you can boil your eggs, and that's a great source of protein. Let's see, I'm going to pre-chop a bunch of my salads. I'm going to have 2 salad bowls ready just in case, so I'm not tempted to eat junk food. I can, so we have a ton of canned food, but I also try to can multiple, you know, at least 4, sometimes up to 5 different soups through the year as food becomes available, or I have excess in the garden or something. We'll make a pot of vegetable soup or beef vegetable soup or tomato soup. I don't can that, I freeze that. I have all sorts of soups, so those are already pre-made, and then, you know, we just live like that. That stays there. Cash. Did I mention cash? If we're powered down, you're not going to have access to debit cards, Visa cards, or anything like that. A gas station, cash is king. Let's talk about gas stations. Our cars are on full. Even if you're staying put, a lot of gas in your car in case you change your mind or get nervous, or the hurricane changes paths, something like that. You know, these places might be shut down when, you know, hurricane hits the land. So we have a generator here at our house, so I not only have gas for the cars, but we have found that it takes about 20 gallons of gas for like a week's worth of generator use. That might be variable for you. Let's talk pets. Buddy's right here, right next to me, and so he's got tons of food. He doesn't need his heartworm right now, but he does have his medicines if the hurricane strikes during the time of that. But we loaded him up with 50 pounds of dog food. I noticed a lot of there were semis coming in just with animal food. We also bought the chickens. See, 100 pounds of chicken food, so that'll last us a long time anyhow. Just want to have that. I also, you know, want to talk about this for chickens. So as your house and fridges thaw and the food becomes bad, before it becomes too bad, toss it to your chickens. These are leftover sandwiches from the grandkids last night. But, you know, you might have like luncheon meat going bad. Chickens love luncheon meat. Little things like that. Let's see, I have a list to keep me fast. Okay, so we'll have a lot of greens for the chickens out in the yard. I have a ton of Biden's Elba, and chickens love that. I am going to be pruning my moringa at least a good 6 to 10 feet off of the top. I'm not sure, I can't measure it, but I'm just gonna like whack it, and chickens can eat moringa. It's a high protein source for them, and so I'm just gonna put the whole branch in there and let the chickens eat off of it. But you know, worst comes to worst, I don't have free range chickens because they destroy things in the garden, but I could free range chickens. Chickens get very stressed in hurricanes. I have the dearest memory of my chickens after one of the hurricanes blew the top of board of their coop out, and you know, when we bugged out to the other side of the state, and when we came back, I opened the doors, let them out. You know, we had tarps, but they had broken loose and they were flapping in the wind, and all that just stressed the girls out. I opened the door, they ran right into the sweet potato vines, and they collapsed and went to sleep. I mean, they were so stressed out. Um, but anyhow, and I have a precious little picture. If I find it, I'll put it up. They need plenty of airflow in the coop, okay? Um, let's talk laundry next. Okay, so they do have mobile laundry stations, and I saw that with in the Carolinas for the Helene victims. Um, but if you have a chance, you know, I realize some people work and all that stuff, but if you have a chance, get all your laundry done. You don't have to fold it and put it up. You'll have plenty of time to do that without power. But, you know, get laundry clean, and at least, you know, then you're not like, hey, where's jeans, you know, or something like that, t-shirts. Heat food. Okay, so I have plenty of I have a bag and a half of charcoal, but then we also have butane. I will pull wood from the yard, from other people's piles. I'm very resourceful that way. We have starter fluid because everything will be wet. I actually have a half bag of pine shavings from the chicken coop. Oh, by the way, their coop is very clean, so they're ready to go if they need to live in there for like a day and a half. But you can also use your shavings as starter. You can use lint from your dryer as starter. And that'll be dry. So, and then what? Pull your garbage cans in. Oh my word. Like tomorrow's our garbage day. I hope nobody puts their garbage out. I'm not expecting the garbage. In fact, if anything, I'm putting them in the garage. But I saw, you know, people are cleaning out stuff because they're going and preparing. And I saw broken stuff out at the curb on the way to the grocery store. Now's not a time to put your broken stuff out at the curb because that can become projectiles for your neighbors' houses or even your own houses. Oh, and also I should mention, board up your windows, especially if you're 3 or higher. For us, we do have some of our windows are hurricane type windows up to, I think Jack told me 150 mile per hour winds. So we will not be boarding up, I believe, unless he changes his mind, but that's kind of his area. I don't do the boards without him. So he says no. And hopefully that thing, the Milton, is supposed to decrease wind size by the time it gets here to the East Coast. Okay, last thing, medicine box, or no, maybe not, second to last thing, medicine box. I have a pantry full of medicines we use all the time, but then I have a medicine box. It is all the extra things, Band-Aids, wraps, glue, because, you know, for stitches. You know, you might have pressure changes, and so that might give you headaches. So Tylenol or whatever you use, acetaminophen is what we use. Feminine products, if you are, you know, a younger lady or have younger ladies in your house. Prescription medicines, your insulin. I saw the mules taking ice for the insulin, like the guy had the insulin in North Carolina. But the Cajun Navy had a pack of mules, and they brought the ice to the diabetic person. That was really nice to see. But, you know, so we're up on all our prescription meds or anything. I have, hurricanes bring in mold. And so it knocks it loose. It's in the air. And I have asthma to post-hurricane air. So I have my inhalers, and I already know what I'm doing there. I have a game plan. Okay, so that segues me into call your families, give them your game plan. I don't care how obvious it seems to you. It's more stressful for them to watch this on TV, plus the hype of TV, than to actually be in the hurricane yourself. I mean, especially if it's the lower level hurricanes and stuff, but it's stressful for them. Let them know that, hey, we're going to stay here. Hey, if something terrible happens, here's our plan. Comfort them, you know, let them know what's going on so they know what to prepare. Hey, if we buck out, I have reservations here. Or, hey, we have multiple family in the area, so if they are without power, they come here. If we're without power, we're going there. If we need food and we can't contact, you know, usually we can drive. We have access to chainsaws. We had a chainsaw. We gave it, you know, we loaned it. We gave it to the neighbor, and we can borrow it back. That's the proper, I should have said that the right way. If need be, or I'm sure he would just come over and do it because we have great neighbors on the street. So anyhow, between rain bands, okay, so if you're in the middle of a rain band and it's just pummeling you, stay in. But between the rain bands, that's a good time to potty your dogs and check on your chickens or your plants and trees, your yard, whatever it is. So you can have lulls, not just in rain, but in wind. Okay, I have tucked everything in the best I can. I might even lay down those chairs. A lot of the furniture is all in the porch at this point. As far as I can tell, oh, except for this one drip line. I need to get a stake for that. But everything is staked down a little bit better than it was the past, like 2 days ago. If I have plenty of time today, I will go ahead and tie up all of my tomatoes. Can we just talk pools for just a second? I did not put it on my list, but I should have. So my pool's already at max height, just about. It's already dripping out of the return. So it's going to continue to drip like that, and it will go over. We have an above ground pool that is sunken 48 inches down, and this has in the past come all the way up to here with water flow. I mean, you can only put so much water somewhere, and then it goes up, but it always recedes, and it doesn't seem to affect the pool. But I do load this up with a lot of chlorine before hurricane, because the waters, wherever they come from, you know, salt water or whatever, it'll have algae in it, and you would rather be a little proactive with the yellow algae coming, and you know, get your pool chemicals right, even a little bit excess. 1 year we lost the top part of the roof of the porch, and it mostly ended up in the pool. So it was actually refreshing. It was very hot after hurricane. We had no power. I was grilling inside the porch, and so I was just coming out here. It was refreshing to get in the pool, and I was just taking all the shingles and tar and junk like that out of the pool. So it's gonna happen. Well, it doesn't have to happen, but it can happen. I'll just tell you that much. So I just wanted you guys to know that part about the pools before I forget. Now, if you have cranberry hibiscus, mine have already split and split and split. Helene already took out most of this one. This one was already down from last year's hurricanes. So I think, and that'll just come out. Shorter trees, I'm not worrying too much about, but with every time we put in a tree, it gets a stake for the most part. I have a little peach over there that doesn't have a stake, and I need to do that. I wanted to just quickly show you my apple trees, because this is something new I just came up with this year. So apple trees tend to have a very upward growth habit. You can train them outward, but mine are still young and they're growing upward. So I took these fruit tree bags and I kind of wrapped them like you would a Christmas tree going down the interstate. You know, when you buy those, they kind of do a protection bag around them or wrapping around them. So all my all my branches are going upward, and they're in the fruit tree bags wrapped pretty good, mostly at the bottom. And then I have them mostly triple stakes, so they don't go this way. Like, you know, there's one there, there's one here, there's one over to this post. This one only had 2. I can reinforce that more later. So I have that going on here, where these guys don't actually have a chance to have a stake inside them, by this. Oh, I'm just doing crazy talk now. By the trunks. So this is the only one I still got to do. All of these, this avocado used to have a double staking system, but it's just down to 1 now. Plus it's a little bit older. I took like 3 feet off the top of this. You know, I expect they'll be breaking. there'll be some ugly stuff. There might be a limb that comes down. I suppose I should grab my star fruit are coming due. They'll probably drop off. They'll probably be on the ground. And the avocados, we lost some avocados with Helene. We had a branch come down out of the pine tree and hit this plum, and so I lost one of the main leader branches. Everything else is doing pretty good. The papaya, it is what it is. The Mexican sunflower is way too high. It could pull the whole thing out of the ground. So I'm just going to come through and you know, take it off to about 6 feet. And then Moringa is far back. Let me see if I can get a better angle for you. Yeah, see all this top part just needs to come out. And I'm not going to take the time, you know, I'm not going to mulch it. I'm not going to get it to the street or anything. I'm just taking the top off and laying it down for the hurricane. And then Moringa I'm going to give to the chickens. I think they can eat Mexican sunflower, but I would hate to put out inaccurate information. I'm not sure about that. The elderberry already, the top leader broke during Helene. The guava, they're kind of loose, open growth habit, and so I'm just going to let the wind go through them. And same with the peanut butter tree and stuff. Now I do want to mention this to you. I'm not going to go over there, but I have a stag horn. The stag horn is tied. Okay, it's got the big chain, so I'm not worried about it coming out of the tree, but I don't want it swinging wildly with high winds. Let's bring it in through here. So as you can see, it's been tied in 2 different places. So it can't swing this way and it can't swing outward. So there you go. The staghorn has been stabilized. As far as the bananas, I think we're okay on these inner trees. They have the benefit of the wind protection of this, plus Jack sheds there. The boat barn and the house are over here. So these are probably okay. The only problem that may happen is, and this started with Helene a couple weeks ago, however long it's been, but this Nonamoa that's right here has already got a pretty big lean on it, and I told Jack when he gets home we're going to have to see how it's leaning pretty hard. I think they're right in the middle. They're not of their maturation. They're not quite ready, but I would like to put a little reinforcement, like I have PVC, maybe something here and something here for those two. They always kind of grow with the lean, but I think this is just too much lean. If we get a south wind, of course the boat burns can help with that, but you know, there always comes that point in time, you know, where you just say, okay, it is what it is. It's just either going to happen or not going to happen, and we'll deal with the aftermath of it. Okay, one more thing is all the seedlings are gone. Oh, maybe a couple things. All the seedlings are gone. Most are in the shed. If you don't have a shed, porch, or garage. I also have a lot of things in here. I will probably take the wheelbarrows, at least this one has dirt and it won't go anywhere, but put that one upside down, lay down the dolly and other stuff. Everything's off of high places and down low. I have onions in this bin, which I'll put the top on later. And the buckets are weighed, well, not the orange one, but the other ones are all weighed down. I have everything as tucked up as I can. The green bin's got to go down. But most of all, I think the best thing we can do is pray for ourselves, pray for our home, pray for our neighbors, and if you're not in the path of Hurricane Milton, pray for your loved ones and friends that are. Florida has been hit hard. North Carolina's no doubt, Georgia, Tennessee, all of us have been hit hard, and I know we're used to it in Florida, but we're hitting historic storm surges, flooding, death, winds. Milton may make it to Hurricane Cat 5. I hope it doesn't. I'm praying for gentle rain. But, you know, we're looking at historic, biblical type things. And with biblical type things requires biblical responses, which is to just pray and give it to God and ask for his protection over yourself and your body and your family, and ask for protection over your home and homesteads, and a hedge of protection, just supernatural things. And if you go through the eye wall, the storm surges, the floods, you know, he'll be with you. He will never leave you. He'll never forsake you. He will be with you wherever you go. He will give you strength. He'll give you courage. He'll help you while you're in the midst of the storm. That's the true part of having peace. It's not that the absence of things that the world is going to throw at you, but it's that he gives you the peace inside here, and that you'll be fine. And of course, if you don't know Jesus, now's a great time to get to know him. So you know, invite him into your life, and yeah, I'm trying not to make this a preachy thing. I could go there, but I won't. But you guys, now's the time to get on your knees and do whatever business you got to do with God. So, all right, with that being said, I love you guys. Take care. God bless you. I'm praying for you. A lot of you have written me through Instagram and stuff. You let me know you're okay after Helene. Let me know again after Milton. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.